Computers is the largest company in the world. And it's been around for decades. I mean, since 76 or something like that. Yeah, 40 odd years, right? It is an extremely successful company that started from nothing and became everything. And so there's this parlor game that people play. People take the computer that they bought in, say, 1990 or 1976 or whenever, and rather than you spend the money on the computer, they say, what if you had spent that money on Apple stock? Where would you be today? And of course, it's a bit of a depressing parlor game, because if you'd spent the money on Apple stock back in 1990 or whenever you bought your computer, you'd be rich today. Yes, of course, because Apple products, for instance, the first Apple computer, if you had spent the $666 it cost, if you had spent that money on buying stock in Apple, today that stock would be worth tens of millions of dollars. The fact of the matter is, I figured out that the computer I bought back in '91, an Apple Mac Classic, if I'd spent that money, the $1,300 or so, if I'd spent that on stock, today it would be worth, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, I'd be better off, right? Well, no, not really. I wouldn't be better off. Because see, an Apple computer is a tool, and a very useful tool. Take, for instance, my first computer, that Apple Classic II that I mentioned. I bought it in college, as a freshman in college, and I had it for about 3 years. And as I used it to write papers and do, I remember, statistics projects and all kinds of stuff. All the stuff that, a typical college student would use a computer for. It was extremely useful to me. I don't know how I could quantify the usefulness of the computer I had during my college years. I mean, how exactly can you quantify the value of your education? But I recall a computer that I owned, that I purchased in, I think it was 96, 97. And that computer, on it, the work I did because of that computer earned me in the actually the mid to high six figures. That computer was a very profitable computer. And so you see my point, of course. See, if you'd spent the money rather than on the computer, if I'd spent it on stock, well, yeah, I would have gotten some money. But the fact of the matter is, I spent the money on this computer, and the computer was a tool for my success. It wasn't just money thrown out the window. It helped me achieve success, or at least achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. You see what I'm saying? But what about sneakers? Do they somehow help you achieve success? I see these kids, they blow $100, $200, $300 on fucking sneakers, right? And kids, I'm talking, early 20s, mid 20s, maybe even early 30s, maybe when they should know fucking better, right? They spend an inordinate amount of money on fucking sneakers. And it's not that they have like the one pair of expensive sneakers. No. They've got like 10 pairs of these really expensive sneakers. And the question I have to ask is, what good are they? Because the Apple computers that I purchased over the years, of course, they had enormous utility. They helped me in my studies, they helped me in my work. They were tools of productivity. Without them, I would not have been as productive, and without them, frankly, I would not have earned the money that I earned. But sneakers, they don't do anything. Why are you buying expensive sneakers? And of course, it's not just sneakers. See, a lot of times you're going to find yourself locked into this trap of buying crap that you don't need. And it's going to be very expensive crap, like expensive Nikes or whatever, Air Jordans or whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, they're very pretty shoes, but do you need them? Do they help you? Especially when you're starting out, especially when you're in your early 20s, mid 20s. What exactly is the purpose of buying really expensive sneakers? Are you getting a leg up in some business because of these sneakers? Are the sneakers helping you to learn a subject that is vital for your business? Are these expensive sneakers somehow able to get you into that meeting room with that key client? Is that the purpose of these sneakers? No? Then why did you buy them? Why did you use your credit card to go into debt to buy the fucking $300 sneakers? Or whatever the fuck. You see my point. See, especially when you're young, you don't have that much impulse control. And so it's easy to tempt you to buy things that you do not need. these things that weigh you down. Because of course, what you do is you buy them with a credit card. You go into debt to buy these very expensive sneakers that do not help you in your business or your career. They do not help you in any kind of way, maybe kind of like social advancement with some group of like-minded individuals, but you'll find that people who are like-minded insofar as collecting very expensive sneakers, they're fucking morons. Yeah, they're fucking idiots. Yeah, they're not people that you really want to be associated with. You see what I'm saying? And to insist, this isn't just sneakers. It's a whole bunch of other crap. Cars, motorcycles, whatever the fuck. Especially when you're young, especially when you're starting out, especially when you have access to debt, access to credit cards. You have to be extremely careful about blowing it on crap that you do not need. Expensive sneakers, expensive clothes, expensive trips on vacations and such, which you do not need. There will be plenty of time when you've made your money to buy all these doodads and toys that you really don't need, but just, that's fun to have. There will be plenty of time. But when you're young, you don't want to saddle yourself with debt. You don't want to blow money on expensive sneakers because it'll only weigh you down. You're young, you probably have student debt, and you're thinking to yourself, what the fuck did I go into all of this debt for this education? Because it's a lousy education, and the degree that I got, this little scrap of paper, it's not really helping me in getting like a good job or climbing a career or anything like that. I'm sort of like stuck with all this debt for this little bit of paper that did not help me, right? Now imagine if you just kept on adding to that debt, adding to that baggage that you're carrying. What's the point in that? See, of course, I understand completely that you want to, indulge yourself a little bit, spend a little money on things that aren't really necessary, but just make you happy. I understand that. Believe me, I understand that completely. But the problem is that when you're young, most especially, you have to husband your resources. You have to really make sure that every penny that you're spending is spent wisely. And this isn't just about money, it's also about time. Because time is your most valuable commodity. It's the thing that you can never get back, okay? I mean, it's stupid and shitty to have blown $200-300 on a pair of fucking sneakers, right? And yeah, they get a little bit dirty because they're these pristine white sneakers, right? They get a little bit dirty and you freak the fuck out. Yeah, okay, stupid decision, you made it, fine. But wasting time, that's different, that's worse. Because see, you can earn back the money that you spent on the stupid sneakers, but you can't get back the time you wasted on video games, stupid TV shows that you'd probably already seen before, all kinds of time sucks and time wastes that you are going to be, clobbered with, attacked by, especially in your youth. As you get older, you're going to realize that time is so essential, so valuable. As you get older, you start to regret the time wastes that you did, the things that you sunk in all of this time and for nothing. And you're going to regret not having spent that time on things that were truly of value. You're going to look back and say, man, why the fuck did I spend hours and hours and hours playing this stupid video game instead of, say, practicing guitar or piano? Why did I spend all of this time watching, all of the seasons of House, which I'd already seen before, instead of, say, learning a new language or just learning something that was valuable instead of just wasting time? It's not just about sneakers. When you're young, you waste so many resources on crap you don't need because you don't realize it. Because you're being fooled, conned by salespeople, by entertainments, The salespeople, they want to make the sale. They want to get the commission. So they sell you the expensive sneakers. The entertainments, the video game makers and what have you, they want your time because to them, your time is money for them. You have to stop giving away those things that are valuable. And those things are your money and your time. Forget about the expensive sneakers. Forget about playing some fucking video game for 10 hours straight or whatever the fuck. Husband your resources, your time, your money, especially when you're young. You're going to have plenty of time later when you are settled in your career, when you are settled in your business, when you've got money coming in. And that money, of course, is going to buy you the time to do other things that you want to do, even if it's frivolous shit like playing video games. But when you're young, don't throw those resources away. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself not to have spent so much time watching dumb 80s comedies and shit and spent more time practicing guitar, more time learning French. Because now, I wish I were a better guitar player. I wish I knew French, but I don't. Instead, I know the punchline to crappy 80s movies. How fucking smart of me was that, huh?